disturbance of force.
Star Wars, Doctor Aphra, Issue 1, a comic book review. Now, the first issue answered my biggest questions about Aphra. Now, warning, this issue was released in December 2016, so we will be talking spoilers. But during the height of the Empire's reign, Aphra has found herself in a position that many of us can relate to. Broke and loaded with debt. Now, when we last left the offbeat archaeologist, she had successfully faked her own death at Vader's mechanical hands. Now, the Empire may not be actively looking for her, but her creditors are another story. Now, she owes large sums to the Wookiee warrior Black Chrysantan, as well as the shady finance company that holds the lien on her ship, the Archangel II. Now, the issue began with Aphra getting the drop on her short-lived partner, the fellow dirt digger Olbic Tan. He had already betrayed her, he had left her for dead. Now, Aphra survived, but decided to let him finish the job, shoot him, and then claim the prize. I knew there was a reason she had a space PhD. Aphra, she said, "Oh no, he backstabbed me and left me for dead, but I wasn't. Then I backstabbed him and left him for dead, but he is." Now, Aphra had successfully survived and retrieved an object of great value that acted as the MacGuffin for the issue. Now, the relic reminded me of a stone protocol droid head. It had some vague significance to galactic history, but for Aphra, it was just a surefire way out of debt. So Aphra returned to the ship. She met her droid sidekicks, the beloved and homicidal BT-1 and 000. Now, both of these characters have represented the anti-R2 and 3PO respectively since their introductions. They have been amazing additions to the Star Wars canon. But there was a funny moment when the droids exchanged credits due to a bet over whether or not their master would return alive. BT-1, by the way. Now, there was little time to celebrate. The droids informed their master that the good doctor had guests awaiting her with open palms. Turns out the ship's loan was long past due. Now, Aphra reminded us that Star Wars isn't all lightsabers, starships, and gorgeous princesses in slave costumes. Even galactic thieves and space doctors have bills to pay. Well, Aphra laid on her usual charm and stalled for time. She requested 000 awaken Chrysantan. Then she won my heart even more when she quickly pulled a Marty McFly moment on Sutath and his giant furry bodyguards. She pointed in the other direction and shouted, "Oh no! It's the Death Star!" Well, just like Biff Tannen, the lumbering Gigorans quickly fell for the ploy and looked for a small moon and/or space station. Unfortunately for Aphra, there were no hoverboards in sight, and she received a smack across the cheek, which sent her flying for several feet. Oh, the hazards of non-tenured doctorates. Well, luckily, Aphra's Wookiee companion, Chrysantan, arrived and saved the day. Now, his heroism wasn't due to chivalry or a noble life debt like the one between Han and Chewie. Aphra just owed the Mad Claw a lot of money, too. Well, when he arrived, Aphra quickly wagered that ship's monthly payment against a bout of fisticuffs. So the fight was set for the Gigorans versus the Wookiee. Sutath, the bill collector, liked his odds and took the bet against the big walking carpet. Big mistake. As we all know, the Wookiee always wins. Well, the day didn't get any better for Sutath after his failed collections payment. He died in a most undignified manner at the metal hands of 000. The assassin droid injected him with a death serum that would look like a heart failure. Now, he died in a crumbled heap in the bathroom floor after losing his hat and revealing that his head looked just like a giant penis. Well, his counterpart BT, an astromech with enough firepower to level a rebel base, beeped in disappointment, See, unlike the subtle protocol droid, BT preferred a more lively display of killing, mostly involving fireworks. Well, 000 made it clear to BT that he may not burn the body. BT argued in response with another series of beeps, and this is where 000 gave me a line that made me laugh out loud. He said, "No, spontaneous human combustion is not a thing." Well, the Archangel 2 then arrived at Archeo Prime. Aphra gave a bit of exposition as to why this site was important, which made Chrysantan and the reader begin to nod off, and then she ranted about the riches that awaited them all. And then she fed the universe a line that would backfire in any galaxy, no matter how far, far away. She said, "Chances are, by the end of the day, we are going to be rich." Of course, in the very next panel, Aphra is told by an annoying protocol droid that she can't sell the artifact at all. Now, the problem isn't the relic, it's her. Something has come to the attention of a governing body known as the Archaeological Association. They cannot verify any of her finds, and as a result, her doctorate has been suspended. Well, Aphra began to wonder who ruined her record as a legitimate archaeologist. Now, she claimed that she discovered the Aberson symbiotes of Boothie 12 to the droid. That's important. Then she privately told 000 that she had cheated. Aphra said, "I mean, obviously I cheated, but how did they find out?" Well, apparently Aphra hadn't had enough of feeding the universe obvious openings that day. Her question was answered by a character off-panel. We hear, "Well, your questionable morality was always going to catch up with you eventually, beloved. So perhaps it's lucky that someone who loves you was the person who uncovered your ethical lapse. And now we can look to your spiritual salvation." Now, this character was sporting a Charles Xavier-style haircut. He has the look of a space priest in flowing white robes of purity. His sanctimonious speech in terms of familiarity and endearment automatically tell us this is someone close to Aphra. Well, we don't have to wonder for long. Aphra left the readers on a cliffhanger with one short response. "Dad." "Oh." Wow! Now, I had wanted to know more about Aphra's backstory, and this first issue did not disappoint. Now, we know little about her past, but now we know her father is a religious man. He obviously cares for her in his own way. I imagine they spent many years at odds with one another over their differing outlooks on life. But wait, there's more. Do not forget to read after the credits, because the short story afterwards is not just a filler. After the credits, we receive an answer to the big question I had about Doctor Aphra. Where or how did she become a doctor? Now, I'm a master's student of history myself. Archaeology is a different field, but we both investigate the past and attempt to bring it to life. Aphra lives the life of a mad historian. Now, in the bonus story, we received a bit of insight into what Aphra meant when she told the droids that she had recovered the Aberson symbiotes of Boothie 12. Those symbiotes had actually been the life's work of her professor, Savatube Nix. Now, years back, we see Aphra had attended the University of Barleth, a college I'm now Googling for t-shirts and hoodies, and Dr. Nix was her supervisor, and she needed his approval to complete her doctorate. This was going to prove difficult. Dr. Nix saw Aphra as a disgrace to the profession and let her know that in no uncertain terms. He said, "All those years mocking me. You never thought to ask why I selected you for my doctoral supervision. Because I was never going to let someone like you become a doctor." Now, when Aphra's own project turned out to be a bust, Nix showed her his amazing discoveries of the Aberson symbiotes. Now, they were highly illegal in the Empire. but the doctor had spent years studying them anyway. Now, he mocked Aphra and told her she would never become a doctor, and it was because he hated her. Wow. Well, most of us would simply give him a low score on ratemyprofessor.com. Instead, Aphra stole the symbiotes, hid them on the planet, and then she became a hero when she acted as if she had discovered them. Now, her professor couldn't say anything because he would have had to admit that he had been keeping them illegally for decades. And scientists on Boothie 12 planned to dedicate years of study to find out how these symbiotes could have existed on this world. Aphra replied, yeah, good luck with that, and let them go on to waste their lives of research. So, my question was answered. Aphra became Doctor Aphra by cheating on her thesis with a flashy discovery that she orchestrated by stealing the work of another archaeologist. And this was just the first issue. I loved the flashback. I would love to see more of Aphra's past. She's also a major cautionary tale to academics on what not to do. On that note, please excuse me while I triple check my sources for plagiarism for my master's thesis. I wouldn't want any symbiotes slipping through. And if you love history and Dr. Aphra, you might love my book of alternate history. Check out Outbreak Mutiny, Alternate History with Superheroes. Ebook and paperback are on sale on Amazon right now.
Big disturbance in the force. Water strong,